I have this subconscious feeling that I think that I'm better than most people, yet I treat myself and also believe that I am a bigger piece of shit than most people. It's like, how do those two things work? But they're both true. Okay.
Why the fuck am I looking at a picture of a woman licking another woman's belly? Oh, okay. I pulled up Instagram and that's the first post.
That's
Jesus.
You say that like that's an explanation. It's like, oh, okay. It's because I pulled up Instagram. So, of course, there's women licking women's bellies.
Influencers. Am I right?
Right.
Hello, friends.
Hey, we got to clap.
Oh my God, you're so good. 3, 2, 1. Well, now I don't know if I deserve to do the tagline.
You do, because I don't have any.
Okay. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
And welcome back to another episode of Pickles and Vodka, the professional mental health podcast that definitely does not have body dysmorphia.
Nice.
I'm Christina.
I'm Lauren. That's also a lie. Not that I'm Lauren, that we don't have body dysmorphia.
I was like, wait a second, is there something you need to tell me? Who are you, really?
Oh, all this time. I've been lying to you.
Yeah, you've been creating this character who's actually not. Anyway,
I was going to do a tarot. I was going to say, I'm actually your mom.
Oh my God, that would be horrifying. Oh man, I feel like I have so much random shit to talk about today, and I'm already worried about, like, forgetting some of it.
Yeah, well, that's okay, because I thought of that too earlier. I was like, maybe I'll just talk about all the random shit in my head, and I was gonna, like, jot it down so I'd remember, but I didn't, so I will forget most of it as well.
Perfect. Very professional of us, I just gotta say. There actually is some housekeeping before we get into where we're at.
Okay.
First of all, before I forget, I always, like, tack this on at the end of every episode so people never hear it, but we actually have a poll out right now. And it is, what would it mean to let go of the idea of being perfect? That's it.
Great.
You can leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/picklesandvodka and comment if you don't feel like using your voice. And we will use your name unless you tell us not to.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
Second piece of housekeeping, I have launched a new podcast this week.
Yes.
I'm really excited about it and also really nervous about it because it's about religious trauma and growing up in a cult. We released episode 1 2 days ago, and by we, I mean me and my co-host Sid, who has been on a Pickles and Vodka guest twice. When I shared it on Facebook, I specifically set the privacy settings to people except for, and then I listed, like, all my conservative relatives. Yeah. Including my parents. So this also ties into where I'm at. Yesterday was my sister Caroline's birthday, and my parents and our other sister surprised her by driving down last night, and we had dinner together. And at one point during the dinner, my mom turns to me and she's like, "So your religious trauma podcast looks funny." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know you knew about that." Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I thought I could keep it a secret. I can't keep anything a secret. And that's part of the reason I started that podcast, so I could, like, care less about that stuff. Like, I need to be, like, why shouldn't I be able to talk about it? Why do I have to worry about offending people? Yeah. You're like, yeah, this is what I've been telling you for years.
Yeah. But I totally understand when you started saying, like, oh, I set privacy settings. I was like, well, of course, I would too in your situation.
Yeah, so that happened, and I guess I should say the name of it. It's called Clothesline Podcast because we're airing out all the dirty laundry we were never supposed to talk about. You can find us on Substack, clotheslinepod.substack.com, and you better subscribe or else.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it. Housekeeping over. Lauren, where are you at?
So I have been the past couple of weeks, like, on top of everything else that I've been talking about the last few weeks, just feeling unbelievably physically exhausted and tired. And I mean, it's to the point where I have been like looking up crazy things to see, like, do I think that this is it? Because I mean, it's like more than I've ever experienced in my life. And I know like one rabbit hole led me to, saying like, this is a bigger exhaustion than I ever remember feeling. And I was like, except when I was, like 20 and I got mono, and then I like look up mono like reactivation, and I was like, oh, because it stays in your body forever when you have it.
Oh shit. I don't know anything about mono.
Yeah, so
That's
I mean,
horrifying.
It's very, very, very common, and most people do get it, I guess, around like their teens or 20s. But that's the main hallmark of it, is just like profound exhaustion. I mean, like when I had it, and I know I've heard people had it a lot worse, and so the fact that mine is just kind of like a medium story, and I was like, for 2 weeks straight, I feel like, because I was living with my dad then, and I would plan the one time my bedroom was upstairs that I would make my way downstairs and get, just like water, food, whatever I thought I might need downstairs, because that's all I could handle is like one trip up the stairs that day. And some of the days, I mean, like literally, it was not being dramatic. It was like I had to lean down and like crawl up the stairs because I could not get up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I mean, I've heard people, like one of my friends said, she's like, my mom had to help me to the bathroom. Like she had to set me on the toilet.
Well, and I mean, I guess I'm saying the quiet part out loud. Like you also have an eating disorder, and you've talked about, your eating disorder making you weak before. Like one time you were like, I don't know. I feel like there was a story you told where you were like crawling down the stairs or like something like that.
I mean, I'm sure that was from severe dehydration, because that's also when I was heavily abusing laxatives.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, then like this is just kind of like your body gets this illness and it's like, fuck you. You can't do shit.
Oh my God. So you think that's what it is now?
So that's what I was learning about, is because it does, like, it's a thing that just, once you have it, it's in your body forever. And usually, your body builds up enough like antibodies or immunity or whatever that you never experience the symptoms again. But they're like, it's also not uncommon. Sometimes, I guess, people do. It gets reactivated. It's usually not as bad as the first time, which is good. But I was like, I don't know, maybe that's it. And then there was another rabbit hole I was going down
oh my God,
when I was looking around my place, and I realized I was like, I don't have a carbon monoxide detector.
Oh yeah, that is a rabbit hole.
Because I was just curious. I was like, it's all working and everything, right? And I looked around and I was like, I don't have one. And then I had to think, and I was like, wait, I legit don't need one. I don't have anything like, I guess
that emits carbon monoxide.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess, from what I learned, like your risk is like never absolutely zero, but I'm just like, I don't have a gas bill. What could I pay for? What could I have in here that...
When you said that, I pictured someone just like walking in the subway and turning around and like seeing carbon monoxide and being like, oh my God, it found me.
It's here.
You're always at risk.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. That's wild, though. I'm realizing how little I know about A, mono, and B, carbon monoxide.
I didn't know much about carbon monoxide either until I researched why I don't have a carbon monoxide detector, and was like, oh, I don't think that's a problem here.
Oh my God.
So all that to say that I just feel, and I bet a lot of people would agree, that it's also just like overall frustrating that it's like, yes, this is just like unusual exhaustion feeling, and, like nothing I can point to in the last many, many years feeling like this. But I feel like if I bring it up to anyone, they're just going to be like, well, you struggle with depression, right? Did you know that you can feel physically tired when you're depressed? And I'm just like, I know my body, goddammit. I know when, like, yes, there's depression, but I know when it's like, this is unusual, though. I've had depression for 30 years.
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that, because I was just now thinking of how, without meaning to, in a way I was dismissing that when I suggested it could be like your eating disorder. And that's just like a natural response people make is like, oh, well, could it be this? Could it be this? Don't you know that you have this and that causes this? But you're like, no, I know my fucking body. I've had this disease for like decades. And I know like it's not that. And why don't people just trust people, especially women, when they like,
right. Yeah, because I've gotten the eating disorder thing before too. Like if I've seen a doctor and brought up some complaints, as soon as they see that in the history, they're like, well, if you're not like properly nutrition, blah, blah, blah. And I'm especially like when I'm there, I'm thinking, dude, I have been so much worse with it and, not felt this bad. So really?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of, they just want to be like, look, I found an answer. Bye.
Yeah, I've been thinking about like advice a lot this week and like what is the role of a friend in like giving advice? And it's almost, I mean, spoiler alert, it's almost never. Like unless someone asks you for advice, don't give advice. But
fair enough.
I mean, this is kind of a tangent. You're not done yet.
I am kind of done.
Okay. This week I've been confronting a lot of things in therapy and like in my personal life. It's been a really intense week, like emotions wise. But one of the things I've been confronting is this idea that I'm better than everyone. And the reason that I came to that conclusion is like, I don't know, I hold myself to such higher standards. And we've talked about this ad nauseum on the podcast.
Yeah.
And when you follow that thread to the root of it, you're saying, oh, I hold myself to higher standards because I'm better than everyone. Or like, I don't know. I've never phrased it like that before. And so once it was brought up to me, I was like, holy shit, that is kind of where I'm coming from. Like, speaking of religious trauma, it's like totally a Christian thing to like think that A, you're a sinner and you're going to hell, but also you are better than everyone because you know the truth and you need to like get people to believe how you do. It's very confusing.
No, but I understand though. Like I feel the same way. Like until you were bringing it up, I'm just sitting here like enthralled because I was just like, I totally know this feeling and I've never named it that way. And
right.
My brain always immediately balks at like absolute statements, so I had to amend it. I was like, well, I don't think I'm better than everyone, but I probably think I'm better than most people.
Yeah, and it's so weird to say that because I think, well, just in terms of like my personal experience, like I'm such a people pleaser and I'm always like trying to care about the needs of others, and so it's easy to tell myself, oh, I am so selfless, like I think I'm a worm, like, compared to other people. But then it's like, I'm still holding myself to this higher standard and, like, saying that I'm not better than everyone else, but acting in a way that, like, says I am.
Yeah, that was the other, like, interesting thought when you were talking about it, is I realized I was like, so I have this subconscious feeling that I think that I'm better than most people, yet I treat myself and also believe that I am a bigger piece of shit than most people. It's like, how do those two things work? But they're both true.
Well, that is a perfect segue to the other thing I've been realizing this week, which is that nobody is as shitty of a friend to me as I am. Like, I have not been a good friend to myself.
Which I didn't say because I'm agreeing. I don't think that's true, but I understand the feeling.
Well, yeah. And it's been really hard to reckon with that truth because I do pride myself on being a good friend. And so when I experience like conflict in friendships, for instance, or like miscommunication or silence or whatever, it's very, very painful to me. But then I turn around and I do that to myself times 10.
Yeah. Like
I don't listen to myself, like the little voice that's like, you should probably be careful. I'm just like, no, like, I don't know. In my writing, I describe it as like my inner voice. It's usually the voice that's like, you need to stop bullshitting yourself, or like, just, eat the fucking sandwich.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing bad's going to happen. Like, that's like the friend that is trying to get me to be like objective about things, that's trying to talk reason, and I just like tell that friend to shut up and like close the door in their face. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I was trying to think because I know I've had similar thoughts in therapy when I've been with a therapist in particular that does IFS.
Internal family systems. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mine does that too.
So that's why I was trying to think. I was like, oh, I know we've talked about like what part that is. Because I feel like we always determined like it came from kind of like a mixture of a negative and a positive part, like maybe like a protector. But I mean, it's also doing it in a way that's beating you up.
Yeah.
Because it's saying like, you should know better, idiot. But I'm trying to help you.
It's just so confusing. Like, God. Speaking of dialecticals, I started my DBT group this week too. And it was mostly just like an introduction and setting up the rules and everything. But I'm really excited about it. I think I'll learn a lot. And because dialecticals are such a part of life, like, you know, I'm a piece of shit and also I'm the best person. Like, how the fuck do you like justify that?
Right.
And the idea is that you don't. Like, it's not one or the other, like you said.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that I learned and, like, took out of a lot of, like, the IFS is a lot of the things that were that kind of, like, combination that it's kind of like, maybe, I guess you could see it either way, you know, like, I would think to see it as, like, no, it's trying to do something good for me because it's saying, you know, like, do the right thing. But to realize, like, well, that's not true, but you're also beating yourself up, which is not helpful to do that.
Well, yeah.
Like, of course it's hard to turn around. Like, you can't then get mad at yourself for not doing what you know is right because you're kind of, like, beating yourself down into it, saying, like, yeah, do the right thing. Don't be awful like you are.
Yes! And also assuming that there's a right and a wrong thing. Like, everything is so extreme. And, like, how, even if there were, how the fuck would you know what to choose, you know? Like, it really is saying, like, I have superior knowledge to everyone else because I know what's right and what's wrong. And even if it is just, like, I know what's right and wrong for me, I think it can become dangerous when you get so attached to that idea of what's right and wrong for you that you refuse to even entertain another possibility. I mean, because God, I'm, like, confusing myself, but you were talking earlier about knowing your own body. And, like, knowing what you need. And that's actually, like, valid. So how do you know when it's, like, not true? You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I get it. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's a mess. It's hard to straighten out. Yeah.
Yeah. God. I don't even know how we got here. Oh my God. I forgot to tell you. I accidentally quit vaping.
Oh.
Yeah. Everyone's shocked. I just ran out and then I kept like pushing off going to get a new one and I still haven't gotten a new one.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I feel like that is how it accidentally happens sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it started getting to be like a pain in the ass. Like, it's the fucking electronics. But yeah, I did have like an emergency vape in my closet that I'm using now.
Is it bad that I also have an emergency vape in my closet?
No, you know, that's just smart.
Yeah, that's where you keep it, duh.
Yeah. I keep all my drugs in the closet, actually.
You know, now that I live alone, I keep most of them in like a cloth shopping bag by the side of my dresser.
I thought you were going to say like on the dining room table. It's just like, I keep them out in the open.
You know, it's like so when people walk in, you be like, can I offer you a snack?
I mean, no, my favorite friends are the ones that offer me weed when I come to their houses. And, you know, of course, I also offer weed when people, if anyone ever comes to my apartment, expect me to offer you drugs at some point. I was just like spraying this room freshener everywhere right before this, and it's so fucking strong. I'm regretting it big time.
Sorry, my mind was still on my bag of drugs.
No, oh yeah, please, let's go back to the bag of drugs.
Because I was going to say, it's that, and it's also things that, like, so it's one easy bag, I feel like, in case, like, my mom visits.
As opposed to one hard bag?
No, just, I mean, like, all one place. It's because I think, I know I put things in there, like, specifically in case my mom visits that I can just, like, hide one bag somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I knew what you meant. It just sounded funny. One easy bag.
This thing is probably expired and I should probably get rid of it. But I did have one time, maybe like 4 years ago, I had to take a Plan B pill.
Oh.
And because, it made sense monetarily, even though, I didn't need however many to order like twice as many as I needed, like it was only a few bucks more. So now I kept one, the one that I have, because it's like, you never know. And especially, with how things were going, I was like, even if I have to do a friend a favor because you can't get it anymore, then, I've got this and I'll keep it. But, that's something that I'm like, oh, geez, I can't explain that one if my mom saw it.
Yeah, you can't let her know you have sex.
Well, that, and on top of that, my mom's so anti-abortion that I don't know if she'd be like, well, if something, if anything happened, like, that's not what you do. You don't kill it. I'd be like,
oh, God.
No, this is to prevent having to do that.
So apparently Plan B expires after 4 years.
Okay, so it's right about at the threshold, I believe. So I'll hang on to it for a few more years.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Expired Plan B is better than no Plan B at all.
Yeah, because that's the thing is, like most medications, they just kind of like lose potency. But for that one, I wouldn't want to give it to someone and be like, it might work. Might not be enough.
I know. As I said that, I'm like, ooh, that sounds like misinformation. Yeah. Because this is a very specific situation where you can be right or wrong. Yeah,
it's not like saying, oh, this might help the cough you're having, or it might just not have enough medication to you. Like, this is a pretty serious, like, you want it to work.
Exactly. You're like, yeah, take 2 or 3 if you feel like it. Like, you might want to have an extra pregnancy test on hand. I have never bought a pregnancy test in my life.
The first time I did that, I was very young. It was probably me, being all misinformed. Like, I have not actually had penetrative sex, but I'm just kind of like, but I don't know. You hear these weird rumors of how, something crazy could happen and my period is late and oh no.
Oh my God. Have you seen Girls, the HBO show?
I saw some of it when it was on. I saw like maybe not all of the first season, but a significant amount. And then I know I also randomly like caught a rerun once of an episode that to this day I think of all the time because it was so disturbing to me.
Oh my God. Well, now you have to say what it was.
Yeah, I won't remember it all again because it was a long time ago, but it's the one where Lena Dunham's character, I think she's like angry at her neighbor, but she doesn't know him. And she kind of ends, like, she knocks on his door to confront him. I want to say it's about something like setting the trash out.
Yep. I know the episode you're talking about.
And then she ends up in a relationship with him, and it's so uncomfortable at moments that, that just, ugh. It makes me feel icky to think about. I don't know.
Yeah, that episode is it's called One Man's Trash, and she literally, like, I guess she's been secretly dumping the trash in his bin, and she goes over to apologize and just ends up spending days with him having sex and playing ping pong naked.
Yeah, she just kind of like abandons her life and becomes that life. And at one point, I know there's some crying scene where it just seems like this stranger that you're just playing around with and you suddenly become super needy. And I don't know, there's so many uncomfortable moments in that thing.
It's very surreal as an episode.
Yeah, it's clearly meant to be like it, even though, like I saw it on its own, not like watching in order. It was just a random thing I caught. I could tell, like, it doesn't forward the story. It's just its self-contained thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was thinking about the episode in season 1 where she goes to Planned Parenthood to get tested for STDs, and she will not stop talking about all the stuff that gets up on the sides of condoms.
I feel like I probably got that far. I vaguely remember, also an uncomfortable scene about that.
Yeah, she's like, but what about the stuff that gets up on the side of condoms? Like, am I... That's what I thought of when you were talking about young you getting a pregnancy test after not having sex.
It's probably similar.
Oh, man. Now I'm thinking about how long it's been since I had sex. It's been a long time. And, like, this is actually getting really personal.
Which is fine.
I've told a few people this, that the last time I had sex, I was, like, sexually assaulted. And I said it very casually because it's just something that happened. Like, and everyone gets like really sad after I say that. And it's always kind of awkward. So I've stopped saying it. And then now, of course, I'm saying it on my podcast for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, I will say, you know, we've obviously had tons of conversations about us minimizing and things like that. And I feel like just that general theme, you have hit the nail on the head for me on why I do, because the same thing, like if I experience something terrible, then I feel like I work through it on my own, maybe. And then, and then what I don't want is the reaction that I'm going to get, because I'm just kind of like, maybe I've made peace with this, or maybe I've just decided to shove it down and ignore it, you know. It's not always a healthy reason, but for whatever, thing, it's like, I'm just saying it. I mean, prime example, we've talked about like how I don't like telling people, you know, a standard question is like, oh, what siblings do you have? And I don't want to be like, well, I had a sister, because everyone's like, oh my God. And I'm just like, no, don't do that to me.
Yeah. Well, first of all, because there are caveats to that statement. And also, it's none of their business, you know?
Well, I mean, I would, you know, if I volunteered it, that's what I mean. So it's not that it's not their business, because if I said it, but it's just kind of like, but I don't say it because you're going to react incorrectly. You weren't there. You don't get it.
I mean,
I'm not saying that for you to be so shocked and to feel sorry for me. Yeah. It's just because I don't want to lie and say I didn't have a sister when I did.
Exactly. Like, I don't ever want people to pity me. And, when I said caveat, I meant context, I think. Like, there's so much context, lore, if you will.
Yes.
It's part of your lore that you have a dead sister. And that sounds like, oh my God. But yeah, we know the story. You weren't close, and it's very sad, but in a different way than most people think. I don't know.
I would say the same for you, that, I mean, at this point, like, yes, I'm sure there are days when you think about the last time you had sex, you were sexually assaulted, and it's horrible, and you feel, like all of the terrible things that come up. But you've changed a lot, you've done a lot of different things, so I'm sure there could be days too where it's just kind of like, well, yes, because that is the last time. Can't pretend like it wasn't. That's what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just happened. It's like I was talking about the religious trauma podcast. Like, these are just things that happened, and why shouldn't I just be able to talk about things that happened to me?
Like, I'm not saying it every time to get this horrified reaction and pity, like you said. Sometimes it's just so you know, because it's relevant to the conversation.
Exactly. I was really struck when you talked about dealing with it alone, or like figuring it out alone, because that's what I do a lot of the time. Like, I barely even talk about sex to my therapist. Like, it's something that I've completely compartmentalized and like pushed away. And in my mind, like, telling someone would make them like almost complicit in the information, and I don't want to put that on anybody. And so now that I'm thinking of it, my definition of working on it alone is either pushing it down or like ruminating on it, but not coming up with any, like, I don't know.
That sounds accurate. That sounds how I deal with a lot of those types of things too.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, not, you know, one of our favorite phrases, not to put a neat little positive bow on it, as in, you know, like, I know you've done work on yourself and you've changed, but that doesn't mean, like, some days you aren't just saying, like, I'm just going to bury this under some things so I don't have to think about it.
Also, I think this is a hot take maybe, but I feel like people should be allowed to like push things under and not talk about it until they're ready. Cause like, there's a reason we do everything, like you were saying. There's a reason we developed eating disorders. There's a reason we like minimize things, because maybe at the time bringing them up would be more traumatic. Or maybe we're not in a situation where we can like reflect on it objectively or whatever.
Yeah. Like, one thing I would say is, immediately after Pico's death, then that was like, other than like a few select people, I did not want to say how it happened.
Yeah.
Because at that time, you know, when it was so fresh, reliving it with people that didn't understand maybe the full extent of like what he meant to me or something like that. Like that wasn't going to make anything better. That was going to make it worse.
Yeah.
And now, like people that knew at least like, oh, we know like you were really close and you really loved your dog and we know that he passed about a year ago. Then it's like now some of them, if we're in a medium relationship, then maybe like it's kind of like I'm sick of pretending like it wasn't also like one of the most horrible experiences of my life. And so, maybe sometimes it is like, yes, so I never told you how he died, but
and there's reasons for that. That's also something that like, not that we're responsible for other people's emotions, but some information is like traumatizing to hear. You don't know what that person has been through, like what their triggers are. Mm-hmm. Again, not your responsibility to handle other people's triggers or worry about triggering other people.
Right. But that possibly being the case, I feel like that is kind of protecting yourself as well. Because what if I am like immediately in this horrible space and then I drag something up in somebody else and we both are just like spiraling? Like that's also going to be a bad situation.
I feel like pet death and sexual assault are two subjects that's very true. Mm-hmm. Like you really just never know.
Or any close death, like if you're talking about your parents dying or something like that. Yeah, I agree. Both of those are very tricky situations.
Yeah, my parents are getting up there.
Well, so are mine.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't even want to talk about that because I don't have any experience. And I feel like that's the kind of thing you don't know how you're going to handle it until it happens to you. Mm-hmm. And until then, it's just pointless to like speculate.
Yeah.
Because like I could die before them, like we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, for the longest time, I always thought I would.
Right?
Yeah.
Same. I live in, like, one of my anxieties is people close to me dying. I'm always thinking of, like, crazy scenarios where they could die. And because of that, I kind of want to be the first to go in my family.
I've thought stuff like that, too. But, see, I
don't have to deal with it.
I have the reverse, though, because I think that, but then there's also the opposite side fighting me because of my sister. This is, like, when I've been doing like particularly badly and maybe feeling, like, oh my gosh, like what if this does actually kill me? And then it's just kind of like, I got to straighten things up because I can't make my parents bury more of their children than they outlive.
Yeah.
Or outlive more of their children, than they don't.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, I remember you saying that before now, and that's very kind of you to consider them like that. Wow, how did we end up here?
Right. Tangents.
Tangents about death and trauma.
Yes.
And dead pets and sexual assault.
All the fun stuff in life.
If this were a YouTube video, I would have to like bleep all of those words.
Yep.
I'm so glad we don't have to censor things like that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The worst is when people spell sex, S-E-G-G-S.
Ugh. I was going to say, yeah, so some of the words that I see on Instagram posts so that they don't get flagged or whatever, are just like ridiculous spellings.
Oh, but because I started this new podcast, I've been teaching myself again how to video edit, and I feel comfortable enough now that if we wanted to start doing video again, I feel like that's something we could do.
Okay.
If we feel like it.
I mean, it always feels like we should, at least sometimes. Of course, both of us are not, like, jumping, like, I want to be on camera.
Right? Yeah, that's the only thing.
But I did like when we do it sometimes because there is always, I feel like, having a conversation with someone, like, getting some, like, facial reaction cues and things like that. Like, it's helpful for the two of us, our dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So, yeah, maybe look out for that in the future.
Yeah.
Or not.
Oh, I also wanted to tell you that I did start reading. You brought up that book, Slip.
Oh, yeah.
And I found it, and I started reading it. I will say, I don't know if we do it, if I would have to, like, start from the beginning again, because I'm probably maybe halfway through. It is a dense book, and I haven't been in the best headspace, so that's what I feel. I'm like, I'm probably gathering, like, 10% of what's being said here.
That's totally fair. I haven't read it yet, but I do know that she's like a journalist, and so half of it is like investigative journalism, and yeah, very dense with like information.
Like definitely interesting, but yeah, there are some times where I'm just kind of like, I'm not sure I'm absorbing all I need to from this.
Okay, I need to pick up that book. It's funny you mentioned it because Orion texted me about that book because I guess he started reading it too, and he said he has a lot of thoughts. So he might be someone to invite on the show when we talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I've read some other books in like a similar vein that do, the same thing, kind of like share their story, but also try to take like an introspective and research look. And I feel like in general, the ones I've read, the authors really just kind of turn me off. So this is the first one that I don't feel that way. Like, not that I'm always agreeing, but I'm just kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm overall enjoying it.
Nice. Okay. You know, I was thinking of going to the bookstore today, and now I think I'm just going to do it. Like, I can afford to buy books now. Why am I just like still not buying books?
And especially, I don't know about you, but like I said, this is the dense one and taking a lot of time. So if I am trying to convince myself, like, no, I can spend money to buy a book, I want to make it worth my time.
Exactly. I like owning books because you can like write notes in them and like pore over certain things multiple times. Another eating disorder / investigative journalism book I read is by Sarah Aziza, and it's called The Hollow Half.
Okay, never heard of that.
She's Palestinian, and she also has anorexia.
Oh.
And she writes about, like, the intersection of those two identities, and it's really good. The language is almost poetic. I don't know. I recommend that if people are looking into that sort of thing. It's not nearly as long as Slip.
Okay.
But yeah, we should definitely review that eventually. I still haven't finished Deadweight.
Well, I was thinking of that one as one of the ones that I was just like, I rolled my eyes a lot.
I know. That's why I haven't finished it. I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
But if you really want to, what I also remember about that one is, because I remember one of the reasons when I was reading that I was like, well, this makes sense. When she started quoting, now I can't remember the girl's name. It's Kelsey something, I believe. And the book is like How to Disappear Completely or How to Completely Disappear. And it was so awful that it's one of the very rare times that I left a negative review on Amazon.
Whoa.
Because I was just like, I can't with this girl.
How to Disappear Completely sounds like a young adult anorexia book, like from a teenager's point of view.
Well, that was the thing, is because she was clearly writing it to be, kind of, like Deadweight or like Slip, but it really just comes off as like, I want to tell my story and I want to tell you like how really, really bad it was, but I'm so sanctimonious that, I'm not going to say numbers because that doesn't help, but I'm always going to make references to like, oh my gosh, this person tried on my jeans and said they're so small, but I don't say numbers. It's just
oh my god, it's the humble brag.
Exactly, that's all it was.
The humble skinny brag.
It was a book full of humble brag, and then at the end, it was condemning anybody that has an eating disorder, basically like, I am smarter than it now, and you're stupid if you're still in it.
What?
Yes, it's terrible.
This is How to Disappear Completely or Deadweight?
How to Disappear Completely, yeah.
Okay. Woo.
Because Deadweight, she just, like, referenced her a lot in a positive way. That's why I was like, oh, okay, well, if you didn't see through that book, maybe this is why I'm not a huge fan of all you're saying.
Okay, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Sorry. No offense if your name is Kelsey and you're listening to this. You know how you can see stats for, like, what countries listeners are in and, like, what gender they are? What if, like, names were a thing on there? How many Kelseys do we have listening?
Yes.
That's not an invasion of privacy at all.
No.
Oh my god. So yeah, we have quite a few things to review coming up. I was texting Lauren about a movie we should review that I cannot believe we haven't reviewed before.
Yes, a handful of people have probably heard of it.
Yeah. Should we just leave it at that and tease it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
We'll be reviewing it soon, but you've probably seen it.
Or heard of it, at least.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
I wish there was a better way to, like, transition when we, like, run out of things to say. But at least we're being honest about it. We're just like, we literally don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, and instead, just like how we have a standard intro, we should have a standard outro, which is, like, the most awkward way of ending. Just be like, and, yeah, We're done. Bye.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it.
But that is it. We got things coming up. I'm not sure when, but they'll be fun. We got polls, we got reviews, we got guests.
Yeah, we got stuff out the wazoo, so subscribe or else. Goodbye!
Bye!
If you like what you heard, tell a friend about the podcast. You can send them to picklesandvodka.substack.com, where they can listen to our entire catalog and find our newest merch. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/picklesandvodka. My personal Instagram is at xtinajumper, and Lauren's is at Lauren3_AFH. We'll see you next week.
Sorry, my mind was still on my bag of drugs.